What's up, guys? Welcome to another episode of the Athletes and Assets podcast with your host, Noah Lack. We just had on the #1 pickleball player in the world, Anna Leigh Waters. She's 18 years old and is already on track to becoming the GOAT in pickleball. We chat about her growing the sport, her accomplishments so far, and also the business side of pickleball, what she's learned as an 18-year-old entrepreneur, doing brand deals, earning equity. If you can, please like, subscribe to the show, because we'll keep bringing the heat. Let's get right into it. Well, Anna Leigh,
yes.
Really appreciate you joining us today. Thank you for stopping by the studio.
I'm excited.
I feel like you have had a summer that not only teenagers, but grown adults will be jealous of. I'm going to just go off just 3 things to start, right?
Okay.
First ever pickleball player to be invited to the ESPYs.
Yes.
MLP Final Four, of course. Throwing out the first pitch at the Cubs game. I mean, like, what has been the highlight of the summer so far?
Maybe singing the 7th inning stretch at the Cubs game.
How was that?
It was terrible, but it's the most memorable thing that's like, I mean, the ESPYs obviously is amazing. So I'm not going to say that because I feel like that would be the obvious answer.
Yes.
But I didn't know until 2 hours before the Cubs game that I was singing the 7th inning stretch, and I didn't know the lyrics to like the full song. So I was like, I had an exhibition.
You're on Google.
And I'm like, literally. And I was so nervous, and it was like a packed stadium, 38,000 people, and I'm on the Jumbotron, and I'm like having to sing, and I'm like tone deaf. Like I can't sing at all.
Yeah.
And it was just probably one of the most memorable things that has happened in my career so far.
Good thing it's not the Star Spangled Banner, because whenever someone sings the 7th inning stretch, never sounds like amazing, right? So you're good.
Yeah.
You're good.
Appreciate it.
Was that the most memorable thing of that game? Right.
I think so.
Okay. Everything else is a blur.
It's a blur. Like I had to throw out the first pitch, and I was nervous to throw out the first pitch, but then when they told me I had to sing the 7th inning stretch, I was like, first pitch, I got that. 7th inning stretch. That's what I'm nervous about.
Well, you're South Florida based. Just curious, why the Cubs and did the Marlins ever reach out? Or?
So I actually threw out the pitch at the Marlins game 2 years ago, maybe.
Oh, okay.
But
that box is already checked.
But
my bad, guys.
But the cool thing is, my grandfather was actually drafted to the Cubs.
Okay.
And so it's kind of cool for me to be in the stadium and throw the first pitch out.
Absolutely. That's amazing. Well, I really appreciate you once again joining us. We have a lot to dive into, but I think for some of our audience, I want to just paint context of your career so far. Picking up the sport by accident, right? In South Florida, Hurricane Irma hits, right? And then your grandparents accidentally introduced you to pickleball. And that was around 10 years old?
Yeah, I was 10 years old.
I mean, my first thought when I went in the YMCA and saw pickleball take up the court was senior citizen sport.
Yep.
Did you think that as well?
Well, my grandfather had played pickleball. I always thought you hit a pickle over the net, which I think is worse.
Logical.
Thinking it was a senior citizen sport. So when we actually went out to play, I was like, wait, you don't hit a pickle over the net? I was so confused. But then I got on the court and tried it, and I was like, wow, this is the most fun thing that I've ever played in my entire life. And we just wanted to play over and over again, 3 times a day. We were just hooked after we started playing.
And obviously family is a big influence, but your mom was a Division I tennis player. Your mom, so tennis clearly was an influence, but
right.
Why do you think pickleball swayed you over?
So I was playing tennis at the time too.
Right.
And I think we were pickleball, that's for, like you said, for older people, tennis is where it's at. And then we both tried it, which I think is a big thing. People like to hate on it before they try it.
Right.
So we tried it and we were like, wow, this is so fun. And it just became something we did for fun because we were both, my mom was playing tennis for fun at the time and I was just playing, or I guess I was playing to maybe go to college and play tennis, but I never really loved tennis once I started playing tennis tournaments. And then I'd go to a pickleball tournament and have the most fun time. And I was like, why am I going to go to a tennis tournament and hate playing, hate playing in the tournament when I could go play and have fun in a pickleball tournament. So I really didn't start playing pickleball tournaments thinking that I was going to go pro in pickleball.
Well, this is an overlooked fact I think you just brought up. There's pickleball tournaments at 10, 11 years old. Well, or did you play up because you were? So
funny enough, I had to play in the 18 plus because I was the only 10-year-old in the event. And this one time I was playing with my grandfather and we had to play in 18 plus. My grandfather's in his early 70s and I'm 10. And the lady across the net was like, she can't play. She's not 18, getting so upset. And I'm like, there's no division for me to play in.
Yeah.
How else am I supposed to play? And it was this big thing. So yeah, for the longest time, there was no junior there were no junior events and you just had to play up. But now some of the tournaments we go to, we have 200 plus juniors playing in the tournament. So it's really cool to like see how much the sport has grown and all the kids. Because I used to literally be the only kid at these tournaments.
Yeah.
And now I see them running around like playing pickleball and it makes me happy.
Well, I definitely want to get into how you're kind of trailblazing the, a fast growing sport in America, but I need to be a fly on the wall. If we can, go back in time, I want to hear that conversation at the dinner table where you guys decided you would go pro at 12 years old.
Well,
what was that like?
Funny enough, that happened as an accident too.
Okay.
So my mom I was actually 11 the first pro tournament that I played, which a lot of people don't realize. So yeah, my mom was supposed to play in this pro tournament in Texas with her women's doubles partner, and last minute her partner couldn't go. And she was like, Anna Leigh, can you please like just step in and play? I was playing at the highest level before pro at the time.
Yeah.
And she was like, just try it. We'll have fun. We weren't expecting anything. And then we ended up getting second in the pro tournament. And my mom was like, all right, you're ready. Like, let's go play professionally. And I was like, cool. Like, okay. I was still playing soccer and tennis at the time. So once again, I was playing pro, but it was still just a fun thing.
Wow. That's amazing. I think I was looking at like Lionel Messi went professional at 17, LeBron 18. You may be one of the youngest pro athletes ever. We would have to go deep in the
I've almost had a
there.
10-year career and I'm 18.
You're a vet.
I know.
You were trying to call me Unc earlier. Low key, you're the vet of the sport.
I know, it's so weird. I talk to people and I'm like, man, like, aren't I close to retiring now? Like, I feel like I've been playing for so long, but like, this is when most people's careers start. And like, this is even early,
Yeah.
People's careers. So it's crazy. It's like sometimes in my mind, it's hard to like wrap my head around it.
Yeah, 100%. And being a pro, I've seen you've been homeschooled,
Yes.
right? I'm just curious, like, what are the pros and cons of that, right?
Yeah, so actually, I grew up in North Carolina, and I used to go to a private Christian school there, and I absolutely hated school, like, because I had like mommy-itis growing up. Like, I hated being away from my parents when I was really little. So, like, I'd cry going to school. Like, I used to get so sad at school, and I was just like, oh, like, I don't like this. And then we ended up moving to Florida, and my parents didn't know what school to put me in. And they were like, for a year, let's just homeschool you. And my grandma was actually a school teacher. So they were like, hey, Gaga, can you come down and like homeschool AL for a year? And then we'll figure out what school to put her in. And then I loved homeschooling so much that we just decided to keep doing it.
Yeah.
But like you said, there are pros and cons to it. I feel like because I was playing team sports at the time, like I was playing soccer, so I was around friends, and tennis, I was around all these people. But I can definitely see if you're a kid who isn't involved in stuff like that, how it might not be the right decision.
Yeah.
But I was still getting that interaction, so I wasn't feeling like I was missing out on anything.
Yeah.
But I definitely think it depends on the person.
Well, you and I have something in common. We both have mommy-itis. Except the difference is I was in the class. I actually had to go. I couldn't get out of it. I wasn't good enough at basketball to where I could actually like.
My mom's here today too, so maybe I haven't grown out of it.
No. All good either way. But we both have mommy-itis.
Yeah.
I did not like going to school.
Yeah.
But no, that's awesome. People who even have tried the sport don't understand, the legitimacy of it and how fast it's growing. If I was a hating boomer, and it's just like, pickleball is not a sport, what would be your elevator pitch to me? Why should you care about pickleball? Talk about the physical intensity of it.
Right.
Like, how do you break that down to someone in like 60?
Well,
20 seconds?
I see where they're coming from, because I like to say pickleball is easy to learn but hard to master. Like, you can play pickleball at any level. And a lot of people don't realize there's a professional side to the sport. They just think it's this thing that people go out to the local parks and have fun doing, which they do, but there's also different levels. So I think just exposing people to that side, probably show the person videos of like professional pickleball being played and how athletic we have to be on the court, and how it's not just like when you go to a rec court and you see the people, playing pickleball, it's very different. So I think probably helping them understand that there's a pro side to it. And then I would say, if you haven't tried it, go try it, because then you realize how much athleticism it actually takes. Like, a lot of people who haven't ever played a sport are like, oh, wow, pickleball is like the perfect sport for me, which it is, but they have to be a little more prepared than they usually are, because a lot of people go out and like go 100% and then like hurt themselves or like tear something, and they're like, man, like what? And then they figure out the hard way that it's a real sport, So definitely make sure that you do something physical before you go out and try to go 100% on a pickleball court, because you realize very quickly that it does take a lot of athleticism.
Yeah. Okay. So after a 2-hour training session, what part of your body is most sore?
Well, it depends how intense, because in pickleball, you could like stand there and drill for 2 hours and it not be that intense, or you could play singles for 2 hours and it'd be like the most intense thing you've ever done in your life.
If you play singles for
If
2
I play
hours?
singles for 2 hours, my legs are shot. Because the ball doesn't bounce up super high. You have to get low and you're constantly sprinting and running. Well, first you'd be gassed.
Yeah.
So you'd be like huffing and puffing. And then second of all, you'd be like the next day you would feel your legs like
Okay, but are we talking
heavy.
like quads, calves, or everything?
Everything. Like, I feel like people find new muscles when they play pickleball because they're like, this little thing is so sore, or I didn't know that I had this, you know what I mean? Because it's like little things that you don't think are there, you don't use like on your day to day. So maybe your quads or hamstrings might not be as sore as like your calf or like your shin or like something like that you wouldn't think about.
Well, I get nervous when my family has to go hit a drop shot. Because
they
gotta get low and bend knees and I'm just like, whoa, like let's not put them at risk there.
No, it's true. Like a lot of people are like pickleball's so dangerous. And I'm like, no, they just don't understand that it's like a sport and you have to like do stuff.
You gotta get low.
You have to work out too. You can't just like go out and play pickleball.
I can imagine there are so many people out there that will come up to you and be like, "Oh, I can dust you on the court." Like, how many stories do you have of people saying that I could kill you?
If I had a penny for every DM I got that said, "Let's go play pickleball," I would whoop you on the court. I would be a billionaire. Like literally. Like it's crazy. That is, and it's like also a pickup line that every guy uses. So it's like, come play me on the pickleball court. I beat you. So like,
gentlemen, come up with something more creative, please. Yeah.
So a lot.
That's an air ball, right?
And literally. And at tournaments, people be like, $100 right now. I beat you in singles. And I'm like, what? Like,
I'm sure that's like gets annoying.
Yeah, it does. But it's also funny because like in my head, I'm like, you have no, funny example. This actually happened recently. So I'm good friends with this lady and she's like, my son really thinks he could beat you.
Okay.
Like he really thinks. And I'm like, okay. Like I didn't actually think he thought that. I thought he was like joking like most of them are when they say it. So I go to her club and I'm like, all right, you ready? He's like, yeah. And like, he seems like super confident. And I'm like, does this guy really think that, he can, and it's singles. And I beat him 11-1. I was a little upset I gave him a point, but I like destroyed him. And he was like a little butthurt at the end. He was like, man, I didn't realize you were actually that good. Like, it's a thing. So sometimes they're actually serious.
No, I mean, I'm sure you can, crush a lot of adolescent guys who think they can just go in and out athleticism someone on the pickleball court.
Yeah.
It's more than just that. What about, you've played pickleball with folks like Michael Phelps. Like, do you think a guy like Michael Phelps was coming on the court thinking that he could hang with you?
I don't think so, because swimming is no hand-eye coordination, no swinging anything. It's just swimming. So I think he might be a bad example of someone because he was probably the one who had the least amount of confidence like playing with me, I would think. He was a really nice guy, by the way. Yeah. It's really cool. I grew up watching him in the Olympics, so that was cool to play with him. But no, some of them are like really hype. Like when I threw out the pitch at the Cubs, some of their coaches, I played with one of their players and some of the coaches, and the coaches were like so into it. Like they were like really trying and they were a little upset that like they couldn't do better,
Because the coaches thought they had just like great hand-eye.
Well, they'd been playing for a while and they were like, oh,
you're talking about the Cubs coaches?
Yeah. The Cubs coaches.
And they thought they would just come in and...
Well, I don't think they thought they could beat me. I just thought they thought they could do a little better, And then they realized... But that's it. Like a lot of people don't understand like how difficult it is and how hard we hit the ball or how much spin we put on it.
Yeah.
And then when they see it in person or play against it, they're like, oh shoot, like you're actually pretty good,
For someone who hasn't played professionally, the ball itself, is it still that wiffle ball? Is it the same thing I could, go to an indoor facility or outdoor and play with? Or is it a different other like specific regulations?
There's like different types of balls. We actually there's 2 leagues in pickleball. So there's a team league, which is the Major League Pickleball.
MLP,
which is think about like basketball. That's how it's done. And then there's the PPA, which is think like ATP in tennis, and that's how it's run. And right now they actually use different balls. The one on the PPA bounces a little higher, is a little heavier, isn't affected as much by wind, has a truer bounce. And then the one on the MLP side is a little lighter. And maybe hits a little harder, stays a little lower, is affected by wind a little more. So there are different types of balls and it makes a difference.
Yeah.
And then like you said, you go to an indoor ball and that thing is super bouncy, you know? So sometimes rec players will use a bouncier ball to have longer points or to make it easier. Whereas if they were to use a pro ball, they wouldn't have like as good of points.
And how do you can tell the difference probably really easily.
Oh yeah. I think it's harder to use the bouncier balls, to be honest.
Yeah, I can imagine because it's harder off a slam.
It's like super heavy and like you can't put as much spin on it, and the points were longer. So it's
how do you train accordingly? You just switch balls depending on what turn.
Yeah, I mean they're very different, but if you're a professional, I feel like you're able to adjust to things like that pretty easily, or you should be able to adjust to things like that pretty easily. So
you know what that reminds me of? What you remind me of is when Steph Curry was dribbling the basketball on the court, and he dribbled
on the
piece
spot.
of like spot that was kind of like dead wood. He's like, no, we got to fix that. I feel like you could sense that in the ball. So if you were in the MLP and an a PPA ball snuck in,
I'd be like,
stop the match.
No, I would know. I'd know right away.
Yeah.
For sure.
There's devil in the details there. But that's really cool. What is who's been the coolest celebrity you've been able to play with?
Oh geez. This one's really tough. Oh, Jamie Foxx was really cool. Because a lot of times when you play pickleball with someone, you show them your talent.
Yeah.
But they don't really because they can't really if I play with the baseball player, but we're not throwing the baseball.
Sure.
But Jamie Foxx started singing a song while we were after we were playing pickleball, and I was like, wow, this is cool. I'm with Jamie Foxx and he's doing what he's good at, you know? So that was really cool. And then going to the ESPYs was amazing because I didn't play pickleball with those people, but I was able to meet and take photos and talk to some of the people. So that was really cool.
Who was the starstruck moment at the ESPYs? What was your OMG, I'm here at the ESPYs moment?
She's not an athlete, but I walked by Pookie. Do you know the Instagram
Pookie
star? Yeah. No, you don't?
No, man.
She's a big influencer.
I must not be hip.
I was just so not expecting to see this person. I was like, whoa. Because I was expecting to see, I saw Alex Morgan, and I was like, oh my gosh, that's so cool. But I was expecting to see high profile athletes.
You're prepared.
But I wasn't prepared to see influencers there. So I was like, oh, that's really cool.
Yeah.
Somebody that I didn't really play against them, but here in New York, I took a photo with Carlos Alcaraz.
Oh, nice.
And he was at a pickleball event. So that was pretty cool. I was like, whenever you want to I DM'd him. I'm like, whenever you want to play, let's play. And he's like, sounds cool. So I'm like, all right, let's set it up. Let's set it up.
Central Park after the Open.
I know, right
set
now.
Set it back up. That would be pretty sweet.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wow. That's. I'd like to play pickleball with Jamie Foxx. Although I don't think the match. I'd take the match seriously.
He's huge in pickleball. He has his own paddle company and courts at his house. He's real into it.
Yeah. Do you think he's helped growing the game, or is it more just?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, any celebrity that posts about pickleball or is an influential person on social media, it really helps the game. So I think during COVID, the Kardashians were playing pickleball. I think that kind of helped blow up the sport a little bit.
Yeah. So. Well, I don't want to date you, but were your parents covering your ears during the Shane Gillis monologue at the ESPYs, or is that
no.
Still appropriate for you to
No, I'm 18 now, so it was fine. Yeah.
Okay, just making sure.
It was funny though.
So if I was looking to go play pro in pickleball, as a young kid, or maybe I'm in high school, what at this point with all you've seen, you're almost 10 years, what advice would you give to younger folks who are trying to get into the sport at the highest level?
I would say one thing is if you're starting younger, to not get burnt out, to play a lot of different sports. I know this is something you probably don't hear a lot, but I just feel as a kid, I played a lot of different sports, and I realized hey, pickleball is the one for me. This is what I love. But I didn't start just playing pickleball until I was 15.
Yeah.
Which I think made a big difference because I'm 18 now. I've been playing, like you said, for almost 10 years, and I'm not burnt out, Yeah. I feel burnout is a big thing with athletes.
So you're saying playing multiple sports helped you?
It helped me a lot.
Okay,
I played soccer. I feel it helped with the footwork of pickleball. I played tennis, gave me a little bit of different strokes. So I just think when you're younger, playing a lot of different sports. And then I kind of figured this out recently that if you want something too bad, it's it almost makes it more difficult to achieve it. So, like, I feel like...
Why do you say that?
I feel like because then you put so much pressure on yourself to achieve that one thing. Like, obviously, you need to want something and work extremely hard. But I feel like there's a point, like, a tipping point where, like, if you want it too bad, you almost are, like, hurting yourself achieve it. And I think some of the people I meet that are trying to go pro, they're, like, so into it and they want it so bad. Like, just calm down. Like... Play because you love it, work really hard, and good things will happen. There isn't, like, a secret sauce or something I can tell you to, like, all of a sudden make you the best player in the world, you know? It's, like, a lot of different things combined.
Yeah.
So that would probably be my advice.
And I hear, like, I see this a lot in tennis, you know, in these solo sports is you versus you a lot of times.
Mental toughness is big.
Yeah, and so I always see Serena or Carlos, like, look out in the corner to their family, you know, after a point or something, or
Right.
their coach, just to get that positive reaffirmation.
Yeah.
So do you have a coach that helps you with
Well,
like
my
your
mom's
mental
actually
performance?
my coach.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I was gonna say, I knew your mom was your coach.
Yeah.
But, you know, sometimes people have
She's
that
not
third
my
party.
mental coach. I do have a mental coach,
Yeah.
but she so many times, like, I'm the type of player that needs somebody to, like, yell at me or, like, get upset. Like, she said some things to me that, like, your typical mother wouldn't, like, say, but she knows I need it and I want that, you know? Like, if she's not mad at me, I'm like, Mom, like, why are you upset? Like,
Yeah.
you know? Because she's very stoic. And then, like, I know if she's telling me something that, like, I need to do it. And sometimes if I'm, like, messing around, like, she'll get on me, or if I'm complaining, like, she'll get on me, and
Yeah.
it makes me play so much better. So she definitely knows, like, what I need. Like, I don't always need to be yelled at, like, you know, but she always, I feel like, knows exactly what to tell me to make me play better.
So when it's like when she's cool and you're just giving you advice, it's like, hey, Elle, but then the government comes out.
Right?
Mad at you, right? It's like full on Anna Leigh Waters. Like,
Yeah.
you better, you know, adjust that backhand or whatever the advice is.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. No, and that's super important to, I feel like, with individual sports to really have that mental coach. Also in team sports. But
Right. It's just different. Like, when it's just you, like, out there.
yeah. Do you like singles or doubles better?
So I get asked this question a lot, and I always say that whatever I'm playing better at that tournament is my favorite.
Fair. Totally.
But I would say that I'm probably overall better at singles.
Okay.
So maybe, but doubles is more fun for me. So that's why I get torn. So that's why I say whatever I'm playing better at the moment is my favorite.
100%. You've accomplished so much already, but you're still so young. Like, what are the things in your game going forward? Like, what are you trying to improve on, you know, physically or skill-wise? Like, what is some of the areas you're looking to improve?
I mean, obviously to get stronger and quicker, like, those are, like, faster, obvious answers. But as far as, like, nuanced pickleball stuff goes, I feel like the game's so new that there's a lot of things that, like, I don't even know right now, you know, that are gonna, in the future, that I'm gonna need to work on. So I feel like my mom and I do a lot of, like, figuring things out, like, will this work, or, like, will this attack work, or if I hit it here, that means the person's gonna hit it here. Like, there's a lot of, like, nuanced stuff that we work on all the time, just trying to figure out little things, because nobody knows how the game's supposed to be played, or, like, what the best shots are right now. You know, we're all trying to figure it out. So I feel like we're just kind of brainstorming a lot of times and figuring stuff out. And then obviously there are core shots in pickleball that you need to be really good at and can always get better at. So I just feel like I'm very competitive with myself, and I'm always finding something to work on.
Well,
you know?
Well, what's really cool to me is that you can sort of be one of the first blueprints for the next generation. So you can see how your game evolves.
Which could be good or bad.
Sure. I mean, but
pressure on me.
yeah, but also it's like, there's folks that think that, for example, like Wilt Chamberlain in basketball was one of the GOATs, and then came Jordan, and then came Kobe, and then, like, so there's always, but you're kind of at, like, this beginning phase, which is in a point in time in history, which is incredible, because 15 years from now, you can go to the youth and say, like, okay, this is what I thought I needed to work on, and then as my career progressed, like, this is how I progressed. And I still don't think there's that clarity, that much clarity in the sport.
Yeah, and I even say, like, when I'm working with my PT and my trainers, they're like, there's no book on how to train a professional pickleball athlete.
That's crazy.
Like, like they're even like, we're figuring this out, with you. Because, like, we're kind of writing that story, and, like, strategy in pickleball. Like, my mom and I, when we first started playing pickleball, were the first people to hit the ball hard on a lot of shots. Like it was very soft, and people were like, "Oh, you have to dink."
But you're more of an aggressive.
But we were like, "No, we're gonna
style.
play aggressive," and they're like, "You're playing tennis on a pickleball court," but we're like, "It's working. Like why?" So I feel like we kind of helped change the game in that sense. And then, like I said, there's the athletic sense. Like, do you want to be really strong and like not as quick, or do you want to be really quick but less muscle? Like, like nobody really knows. So I feel like a lot of people are testing out different stuff right now, just trying to figure out what like the perfect, like, do you want to be tall? Which you can't really control, but like in the future, is every pickleball player going to be 7 feet tall like basketball, or is everybody going to be 5'2" because it's better to be like low to the ground? Like
that's something I didn't think about.
Yeah, like what's the perfect body type for pickleball?
What is it?
I don't know.
Wow.
I hope I have whatever it is.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Well, so far it's working, but
Right?
wow, that's something that I like. Even height, I didn't even think about that. Like,
Yeah.
does that matter? The biggest change you've seen since you started playing professionally in the sport in general?
I would just say how fast the sport's gotten, which it's been a part of technology getting better, the ball changing. It's also players are getting better, more athletic, hitting the ball harder. So I think it's a combination of a lot of things, but the game has definitely gotten a lot faster, and definitely you're seeing more athleticism on the court.
Yeah.
So I think it looks better. Like when you watch it, like if you watch a match from 2-3 years ago versus now, you're like, wow, like there is a significant difference. Like you should go like just for fun. Like,
Yeah, absolutely.
watch, like I went back and watched one of my singles matches from 2 years ago, and I'm like, what? Like,
Yeah.
that's how we played, and now I'm like, whoa, like it's crazy. Very different.
Well, I mean, the sport is super popular now. I was outside of Central Park. I was like, I knew Anna Leigh, and they wouldn't let me in. And so, next time, no, I'm kidding.
Just let me know next time. I'll get you in.
Yeah, no, I appreciate it. What do you think would solidify you as the GOAT pickleball player? What do you think you have to do?
Probably, I mean, I've done a lot so far. Probably consistency is the only thing. I've been pretty consistent over the last 3 years, but hopefully the records I've made can't be broken, but you never know. So I think my goal right now is just to do as much as I can and hope nobody else can do better in the future type thing, I try not to put too much pressure on myself as far as like medals and records go. Like I was saying earlier, like if you want it too bad sometimes, like it can be very overwhelming. So I think right now I'm just trying to enjoy like the ride.
100%. 100%. And kudos to you for being a trailblazer. I mean, that gives me goosebumps, and, wishing you incredible success. What's also fascinating about your journey is that, the growth of the sport as a business and the popularity of pickleball, I think you've seen firsthand how, evolution of new brands, there's new companies trying to break into the sport. As number one, you're essentially at sometimes a billboard for folks trying to break into pickleball. And we mentioned something before the show I want to bring up, which is really fascinating and something I think about. Despite you being homeschooled and without a college degree, the amount of brands, contracts, people you've met, you've kind of got a street education in business.
Right. Kind of. I mean, I've kind of gone to college without going to college, because they say college, you obviously learn, but you also network. And the networking that I've done just through playing professional pickleball has been crazy. Like you said, all the people I've met so many billionaires, which is crazy, and like just so many financially successful people that are giving me advice and contracts. My mom's a lawyer, so I already knew a little bit about contracts, and she helped me with that. But just like figuring out how to negotiate things, and just like I've learned so much, and I'm only 18. I feel like I've had a little bit of a college education, not to say I won't go to college later in life, but I definitely think people don't realize that it's not just playing pickleball. There's like a whole nother side to it.
What's a cool negotiation tactic you could share? I mean, I don't want to spoil
Well, so like this is pretty well known, but you always want to ask for more than you actually want, because then they'll always counter down, with like,
oh, we got it.
You know what I'm saying?
We got a good way.
Like,
This is smart.
So that,
Right.
And I feel like one thing I've learned personally is like one thing is like sometimes maybe a brand will offer you a lot of money, but you don't really feel like
aligned with
you don't love the brand, or you don't want to, so it's not worth that,
Right.
I feel like all the brands I work with now, like I love the product and I love who I'm working with, and that's very important for me.
Yeah.
I also feel like time is a big thing, because I only have so much time to give.
Sure.
So in a lot of my contracts, especially since I'm young, I want to have a little bit of time to myself and not just always doing stuff.
Yeah.
So I feel like in a lot of our contracts, we try to keep like time to like a more minimum. Like obviously I'm still giving a lot of time to the brand, but like I'm not flying here to do this or
Right.
to meet a meet and greet here, or, you know, try not to fly everywhere and do
Yeah.
crazy stuff.
Those meet and greets, if you
it's
stay there for 3 hours, they'll
no,
stay
I
there
love
for 3
meeting
hours,
people.
you know?
Like I love it, but like
Sure.
traveling to it, or that I could be training in that time, so it can be a lot. So there's definitely a lot of things that I've learned that have helped me a lot. Helped me a lot.
Great.
And I've had like amazing people around me
Yeah.
to like guide me through this. I feel like sometimes young athletes aren't surrounded by the best people to help them. They get taken advantage of in these situations. But
100%.
I've had my family, Vayner Sports, who are helping me with all my contracts. They're amazing. So
Yeah.
just in a good spot right now.
Yeah,
The
100%.
people that help me.
I think the best like situation is where like you have great representation, but also you're kind of involved. So where like you're educating yourself through them. And so you can help everyone makes more informed decisions. Because even if your parents or Vayner is super skilled on contract negotiations, if you don't know what you want and they're just guessing for you, there's still going to be misalignment.
Yeah, and pickleball, like it's like sometimes, you know, we don't know what pickleball is going to look like in 5 years. So
True.
like with a lot of these decisions and long-term contracts, you kind of have to make a decision based on what you know. Like, because you can't guess on what's going to happen. So there have been some times where we've had to make a decision. It might not have been the best decision at the time, but we made the decision with what we knew, you know?
Yeah.
And you just have to accept that and move on. You can't be like, you know, hating on yourself for making a decision because you didn't know what was going to happen.
Yeah, 100%. And a great example of that is your partnership with You by Kotex, the tampon brand.
Yeah.
How has that been for you? I mean,
it's been cool because I feel like it's not talked about enough, or when people talk about it, they're like,
yeah,
are we talking about this? Like,
right.
you know,
but this is A&A. We dive into,
know.
you know, we dive into.
Let's go. I know I'm Gen Z too.
Yeah.
So I'm like, I feel like we should talk about this and not hide it. Cause,
yeah.
And I feel like honestly, when I'm playing on my period, I am like so focused and intense. Like, I feel like it helps me. And I know like there's a lot of negativity towards it. Like, oh, like I'm on, but that's not true. Yeah. And I feel like You by Kotex helps me focus just on playing, and I don't have to focus on anything else, you know, because they've got it covered with their products. So I'm just in a good spot with them to be playing. And successful.
So did you try the product before you decided the partnership?
Yes, of course. They're a huge brand. I mean, they're in every grocery. Anytime you go and look for tampons or pads, like there's You by Kotex.
Yeah.
So they have great products.
You won a tournament with it.
Yeah, I was like, this
run
is
it
the
back
for me. Superstitious. Let's go again. Yeah.
Well, I guess you got to make sure the next big tournament falls like exactly the month after.
Well, it's funny because like sometimes like I'm like playing on it, like winning a triple crown. You know, I'm having to do all these cool. A triple crown is when you win all 3 events in one tournament too. And if anybody doesn't know what pickleball is, but
yeah.
So and You by Kotex has been there to support me, and I've just been able to focus on my match.
Yeah, and just making sure, I appreciate you giving that context, but You by Kotex, tampon-based brand, correct?
Yeah,
right?
tampons and pads.
Yes.
Do both.
Okay. Yeah. And yeah, I mean, you got to think about it. Like, since you are like the #1 pioneer of the sport, it's like, okay, what brand deals make sense?
Yeah. Well, also young girls, I feel like I want to be a good example for them and being like, hey, you can talk about this, you know, like every girl's going through it.
Yeah.
You don't have to be scared to talk about it, you know? And I feel like You by Kotex has given me a platform to stand on and talk about it. And I'm very happy that, like you said, a lot of people have a lot of eyes on me. So if I can do something to positively impact young girls, I'll do it.
Yeah. So when we always talk about like the athlete partnership deals, obviously we know how you benefit, you know, aside from just monetary stuff, right? I'm sure you get a lot of free stuff, cool opportunities, meet people. How has that brand been affected by your contributions, right? Like, you know, do you feel like you've helped them open up a new market for?
I mean, hopefully. I mean, I feel like too, with all the brands that I associate with, I'm helping to grow the sport.
Yes.
Because You by Kotex is a huge brand, and if they're posting stuff about me playing pickleball, it also puts eyes on pickleball, which I love.
Right.
So I feel like it's kind of a maybe like, I don't want to say like triple whammy, because it's like growing pickleball, growing You by Kotex, which is an amazing brand, and helping young women to talk about this.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like a lot of good things.
It's crazy that you even think about this at 18. I mean, in my world, because I talk to a lot of college athletes in their representation, and you know, a lot of college athletes are making so much money from NIL that they're being so much more selective on partnership and brand deals.
Yeah,
and
it matters
thinking
a
about
lot.
equity. Thinking
Yes.
about like what stuff is more aligned with my brand and where I think my future is going. You already have equity in a select amount of companies. I mean,
Right.
that concept is crazy. I mean, did you learn about this, I don't know, a couple months ago or like,
No, I've known about it for a while.
Okay.
Yeah.
I didn't know about what equity really meant until my like mid 20s. So I'm just for perspective.
Yeah, I feel like because of the position I was in, I kind of had to grow up maybe a little sooner than a normal 18-year-old would have. So I've known about this for a while. My parents too wanted to make sure that I knew what was going on in these contract negotiations, and I knew what equity was, and I knew what just a regular salary was, and etc. And we have a financial group that helps. We have like yearly meetings with them, and they go over things with me, which a lot of the stuff I already know, but it's good to hear it from them.
Yeah.
So I just feel like having a lot of people help me with that stuff and educate me at a young age has really helped, because now I'm 18 and I've been doing this for many years now. So now I really know what's going on. And
Yeah.
oh my gosh, I'm 18. I signed these contracts 3
What do they
years
mean?
ago. What did I sign?
Yeah.
Like I know exactly what I signed. And like you said, equity is a very big thing, because it means you're believing in yourself and you're believing in the product.
Do you feel like you're an entrepreneur?
Maybe. I mean, I
know-
guess pickleball player, but also like businesswoman. I don't
Right.
know.
The business of Anna Leigh Waters LLC or whatever
Right,
your
exactly.
entity is. Because I feel like that's where I think a lot of athletes I talk to, they feel like even though maybe you don't have your own business, you yourself are like a business.
Yeah. Well, social media too has given, I feel like, athletes a platform for people to get to know them better and to kind of create that brand, because before it was just seeing the person play their sport. But now we can kind of say, hey, like, we're people, like, get to know us, get to know our brand. And I feel like being able, I mean, there's obviously negatives to social media too, but I do think there's a lot of positive to kind of showing people who you are. And like you said, aligning with a certain brand and saying, hey, like, we have the same values here.
Yeah. All right. I actually want to dive into your Instagram game.
Okay.
Because as two folks.
Don't hate on it.
No.
I'm trying.
No, as two folks trying to, grow their respective, I'm trying to grow our business account, but your personal account is your business account. Okay. What type of content has like worked the best for you so far? Is it like the game day pics? Is it like your dad making fun of you videos? Or is it you like getting ready for game day? What's the content style?
So usually the videos that do best are me playing pickleball and then flashing to me in like regular clothes or like a dress or something that shows me like on and off the court.
Yes.
Or
Okay.
like a big milestone, like I was on a billboard in New York City, so like posting that did very well. Or me at the ESPYs, that does very well. I collaborated with Andre Agassi.
Yeah.
I guess he would be like, you were talking earlier about like who the people I played with, and he was probably maybe one of the coolest.
I
like
mean,
Andre Agassi, are
for
you
sure.
kidding me? I played a tournament with him, like that's crazy. So
Yeah.
we collabed on some posts, and that did very well because we were kind of like merging pickleball and tennis and saying you can play both and that's okay.
Yeah.
So I think people loved that energy, or at least thought it was cool that we were like collabing together. So
it's kind of like basically in summary, the content style you found that's worked really well is the, here's me, but also like transition. Boom.
yeah.
I got some other sauce to me aside from, pickleball.
Yes, exactly.
It's crazy how people, people follow people now. And I think like they're super interested in just probably in you just as much what you do lifestyle wise,
For sure.
in pickleball.
Which is cool because
Yeah.
like I think it's amazing for people to love me for what I've done on the court. But like my mom likes to say to me all the time, there's more to life than just pickleball. So I think it's really cool when I get to show people like who I am and like there's more to me than just like playing. I just got cold chills because it made me,
Yeah.
I don't know, like it means a lot, when people like you for you and not just for winning 150 whatever gold medals that I have. You know what I mean?
And it's nice now that the narrative's changed where people aren't just commenting on your posts, like just posts. I mean, maybe some trolls are, but like, normal people aren't commenting like, stick to the pickleball content, right? You can you can kind of be diverse in like what you post. And also I do think it helps. I think with newer sports, people get hooked to them because of the individual personalities.
Exactly.
And so I actually why I think that's why the WNBA is growing a lot is
like,
because you got like
Clark
stud buds, like
Yeah.
streaming,
Yeah.
goofing around. And I think that's equally as part of growing that brand as much as the exciting slam.
No, for sure. I think there's definitely both. One post that always does well too is like an insane point. Like people really like those because it's like crazy long and like the gets are really cool.
Yeah.
So those do really well.
Is there something in business you want to accomplish that you haven't tackled yet?
Well, one cool sponsorship that I've always kind of really wanted, and I don't know if it's possible, is to have like a Premier League soccer team, like collab or like sponsorship. Like I think that would be really cool. Like
Okay.
to like, I'm a big Man City fan.
Okay.
Or I'm a big Kevin De Bruyne fan, and he unfortunately just moved to a different team. But
so what?
But I was a big Man City fan and am still a big Man City fan. So I always thought it'd be cool to like wear their patch or something like on my outfit while I was playing in a tournament. So that'd be really cool. That's more like sponsorship, less like business. As far as business goes, I think like you said, like equity is a big thing, but I also have to make sure I grow my brand to just do more equity stuff. But just like diversifying what I do, trying not to put all my eggs in one basket.
Yeah. Do you see in the future a way to help companies out aside from just the Instagram posts? Like do you see some
like advisor?
Yeah.
I definitely think that's more after, unless I'm trying to create a product or something, which that would be really cool to do and maybe coming soon.
Okay.
But I feel like obviously creating a product would be cool, but like after pickleball, I definitely can see myself being like an advisor for things. Like my mom actually does that now. She helps advise some companies on what to do, like pickleball related, because we know it so well and we know what the people want or, what we think would do really well in the sport. So I definitely see that, but that's more of like later in life.
Well, think about this. Think about in the past few years, all the pickleball locations in nice cities you've been, hotels,
cool.
billionaires that you've met.
Right.
Sponsors and companies that you've interfaced with. And so in the moment, it doesn't seem like that collectively as much. But then you start talking to companies and you realize your Rolodex and you realize some of the things maybe you've seen, maybe brands that have come and go.
Yeah.
And then you put that together and it's like, oh wait, actually I got a whole education on how this works, from the product to what people should be using it.
Yeah, you really think about it and you're like, wait a second. I have so much information that
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. And it's all about too, like the people you know. Like just knowing the right people can help you so much in the world. And I think that's something that I always knew growing up, because I feel like everybody tells you that. But until you really experience it and understand it, it's like a different feeling.
Yeah.
Because it's almost like, okay, like if my pickleball career ended tomorrow, like I feel like I could figure it out.
Yeah, 100%. You're giving me like Serena Williams, after she's playing. Investment firm, own brand. That's why that's where my mind goes, being the like kind of tech investing nerd. What's been the most fun activation that you've done with a brand or a company? Like what's been the most enjoyable part? And then I'm going to ask you the opposite.
Okay, so there was this one company where I live in South Florida, and they one of the nicer hotels in South Florida, they decided to do an activation on the pickleball courts there. So we played pickleball. We did this little round robin. I got to play with the women that were there. And then afterwards, we had like a lunch, and I spoke for a little bit. People would ask me questions, take photos. And then we spent the night at the hotel. So it was really cool because it felt like a mini vacation almost, but I was also doing things to help the brand. And I feel like everyone there had an experience, because you can send someone a product, but if I feel like an experience like helps so much if you're able to talk and use the product.
Oh, for sure.
Taste or drink the product or whatever it is. Helps so much, and it really makes the person want to share that. And I feel like they did a really good job of doing that.
Yeah, totally. I think the experience with brands is great. Maybe not like you by Kotex, but like I don't know how you do that.
Yeah.
Other stuff for sure. Like that could totally work.
Yeah.
But I do like in for educational purposes, because I think your experience is important. Like, what has been maybe a bad experience? Have you had an experience with a brand where you and your team were like, let's learn from that. Let's not do that again.
Yeah, I would say maybe doing like a real, like this, for this one brand, I had to do this really long shoot that was like 8 hours, and I had to do a lot of like specific reading and like a ton of stuff like that. And we were just like, maybe that isn't the direction that we want to go, and it was very hard on me, very taxing on me that day was. And I was
8-hour shoot?
And I was like, whoa, like that was a lot. And that's where I think the first time I was like, time matters, like that's a lot of time for me to be, working and doing something. So I definitely think we learned from that.
Listen, you give me on an 8-hour shoot. I need pancakes, bacon, eggs in the morning.
Break every hour.
I need Chick-fil-A at lunch.
Just the food. You just need food. Is that what you're saying?
Yes. Yeah. You want shorten my rant. That's fine.
Like
Shorten
me too. Yeah.
shorten my monologue.
I like being in New York because the food here is amazing.
Oh, it's awesome. Before we get out of here, Anna, what's next on you on the docket? What's next that we should be looking for? Either
I'm
and
going
it's your
to
choice.
play Vegas next week in a tournament. I'll be on the Las Vegas Strip playing pickleball in a convention center, so that'll be fun.
Okay.
But as far as what's next, I don't know. You'll just, I guess, have to wait.
We'll have to wait.
What's up?
We'll have to tune in. Well, make sure you do. Tune in, like, and subscribe. It's been another great episode of the Athletes and Assets podcast with your host, Noah Lack, and the GOAT, future GOAT, Anna Leigh Waters. Anna, thank you so much for joining us. A lot of fun, and best of luck in Vegas next week. Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Yeah.